Thank you. Thank you for this wonderful opportunity to present the Climate-KIC and ClimateLaunchpad and the judges and yourself as well. So did you know 5% of the world's energy production, 5% of the world's energy production is used just to store data in data centers? So my name is Bhupinder. I'm going to tell you about the Swiss Vault project, and Bejal will join me later to answer questions. So data is growing exponentially because of wearables, smartphones, self-driving cars. And there's a real consequence of this. The experts are predicting that in the next 7 years, at the current rate of growth, we're going to need 20% of the world's energy just to store this data. And at Swiss Vault, we make energy and space-efficient data storage units. We can decrease the energy requirements by 80% and the space requirements by 95%. And these devices are ideal for data centers. So we can install 360 terabytes of data in a data center for 60,000 euros. This is 70% lower than the current market rate. And the reason it's lower is because we're trying to enter a very difficult beachhead market that's very price sensitive. I'll tell you about it. It's 8.6 million data centers in the world that can use our technology, but we're going to target the very large data centers, the ones where the highest concentration of power, cooling, and space is required. And in particular, there's a new trend going, which is digital health. Your genome is being sequenced by data centers around the world, and this is large data. We identified 21 hospital medical centers which are struggling to manage this data. And they want to store your healthcare data very securely, so to maintain your privacy. They want to do it for a very long period of time, your lifetime, in fact, and they want to reduce their costs. And Google and Amazon Web Services will do this easily. You can outsource it to them. But IBM's tape drives can do it for very long, for a very low cost. And we can do all of that in one product. So the industry for 100 years have been wedded to this data storage rack, which I show on the left. And this has been used since Morse code was first started. And these are very heavy. They weigh 700 kilograms, use 18,000 watts of power. And what we want to do is make something more efficient for data storage. So we took all the connectors and made them more effective for data storage. And then we used software to control this. And this brought our power consumption down dramatically. And when you do this, you get rid of all the unnecessary things. You decrease the size also dramatically. And we pass on the power savings and then the space savings then to the customer. So our product features very low power consumption and very low heat emission. And this alone reduces the carbon footprint. But we also make them long lasting, so you reduce the electronic waste. And we make them easy to plug and play so that it's also very quiet, so you can install them and operate them very easily. And so our competitive advantage is that we have patents pending for unique components, design, and software hardware integration. And we have a trade secret on our very unique data security. So we talked to a lot of our key customers, both sides of the Atlantic. We asked them, how much data are you producing? What investments in data management are you making? And what factors are most important for you? We learned that data security is most important, easy to operate, and low operation costs. And our product checks off on all of these. So if we hit our beachhead market of 21 data centers, get about 25% market share, and install them about 30 petabytes, which is about 100 units, we can make 15 million profit in year 5. That's our target goal. And these institutions will not only realize a dramatic reduction in their cost, but the power consumption, which is reduced, decreases their carbon footprint by 80%. And there's a further reduction in carbon footprint because they don't need as much space. You can reduce the construction requirements. So our team is composed of myself, Doug Fortune, my CTO, who's also co-founder, has 30 years of experience in building high-density data storage systems. Dr. Tony Travis designed our operating system, and we have a number of other talented team members who are helping us with production coding, patent advice, and finance management. We want to make energy and space-efficient data storage the industry norm in the future. We want to set up sustainable production and reuse facilities so it becomes part of the circular economy. There's only 2 things that move in here, that's disks and also the fans. And by those 2 components, which have a failure rate we modeled, we can now make these last quite long. And of course, if we hit our beachhead market and we get that, those 25% of the customers, we'll be a $200 million company by 2025. So thank you very much.
So one of the things I love best from Climate Launchpad is the extreme diversity. So we went from getting water from air, getting protein from for animal feed from bacteria, 3D printing with sawdust, clean up textile dyeing, and now we have a data storage solution to reduce energy with, like, how much? 90-something%?
80% reduction in energy requirements, 98% reduction in space.
So, pretty cool stuff. Who wants to go first? Pius?
Yeah. Actually, my first question relates to what you've just said, 80% reduction in energy usage. Has that product been tested?
Yes.
How can we confirm that?
Do we have any backup slides we can use? I guess not. So basically, we
put
have
it back
6 early adopters who are no.
Keep talking.
6 early adopters who have already used it, in fact, for about 2 years, and they've confirmed and give testimonials. There's 2 oil companies and 1 genome data company in Baltimore, associated with Johns Hopkins Hospital. And they confirm the power consumption is low and also the quietness of the operations.
I have a question about your customers and your channels. It seems like this is a really important problem, but a very risk-averse market. So why would you sell directly to end users, hospitals, or people that need data, as opposed to selling to a couple customers like an IBM or an Amazon?
Well, IBM would they be a customer or would they be a distributor in a sense? So I think they would sell our technology to people who make data storage, because IBM itself is not operating cloud-based solutions like Google or Amazon would, or maybe.
So I guess I understood that your business is to build your own data centers?
No, not at all.
You're selling to people who have data centers?
Exactly, so that they can do it behind their firewall, like hospitals or pharma companies or insurers. These are the customers we're talking to.
Yeah, Ashwin.
I'm trying to understand, in this miniaturization that you're going through, what's the intellectual property here? I mean, essentially, the way you described it seemed generic enough that almost anybody would go through that kind of evolution and keep reducing the form factor over time.
I think the big players, when they see our technology and see how we've gained the market, will actually pivot from their designs and start adopting our designs. And hopefully, they may buy us out to get an advantage.
And they haven't thought about it yet, so we would then be first to market.
And it'd be great to get this green label. I think it'll be a true differentiator from the rest of the market. Kristen, you're dying to ask a question. I know.
Yeah, it's actually, I'm nutting through the same set of questions. So you are not proposing to build a manufacturing business?
No, we're trying to be as lean as possible. So what we have contracted is production companies in Germany that will do end-to-end production for us based on our designs.
Okay. And how far upstream can you take this?
Upstream, which way?
Well, in sense of the design of processing itself into data centers, you're focusing on a particular form, the particular form factor, but is there insights in terms of what it is that you've cracked to get to this degree of reduction that you can take upstream into processing?
It's a difficult one.
It's a difficult one. I haven't fully thought through that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, then you can think about that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.